Welcome in, Chiefs Kingdom, to Cheifs Latest, your one-stop spot for everything Kansas City Chiefs in 15 minutes or less. It is your host, Calvin Silvers. Happy Thursday. We are that much closer to the weekend, and more specifically, that much closer to the Chiefs' first preseason game against the Arizona Cardinals. I know we're all excited to see the rookie talent out there, including what kind of depth pieces the Chiefs have. Of course, though, we got to get through the rest of the week, but there is a new injury arising in the wide receiver room. It's a mess. We got a lot to talk about, but before we do, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on those notifications because we have daily, that's right, you heard me correctly, daily videos Monday through Friday here at Cheifs Latest. You're not going to want to miss any of the action, especially with preseason games starting here soon and the regular season right around the corner. So hit that subscribe button, turn on those notifications, as it not only helps me in the channel, but it's going to help you stay up to date with everything Kansas City Chiefs. Now, we know that Andy Reid's training camps, they're brutal, and it's a true proving ground for these rookies. And the injury bug continues to hit hard out there at Missouri Western. That's why the wide receiver room cannot catch a break. I'm going to start calling them the sideline club because a lot of them are just staying out there injured or dealing with some kind of nagging injury. And Rashee Rice is now joining that club, along with the likes of, Hollywood Brown, Sky Moore, Worthy. It's getting kind of scary. Now, Rice, who suffered, we know, last year a season-ending injury, he's battling a likely 3 to 6 game suspension. Now there's a groin injury that has him working on the sidelines. At least he's not absent. That's good. At least he's not completely missing practice. But again, it's a setback that stings after his electric camp start. Him and Mahomes' connection so far has been electric. It's been fun. It's been great to see. But now he's sidelined, and we know that his suspension is looming. I mean, he was torching defenses. He's been getting open with ease in camp. He's locking in as Mahomes' go-to target. That's what you want to see. But again, this groin issue, that's suspension. It's all this is now going to sideline him for a preseason game. We were expecting him to be sidelined for a couple regular season games, but now you're taking away crucial reps. It's sad, and it's worrisome. The wide receiver's injury cloud is troubling. Brown's ankle, Moore's hamstring. Worthy had that, concussion scare. We can't keep losing top targets. We can't keep going into these seasons year after year with lower tier targets that Mahomes throws to. We know how much this offense sputters when we do not have the top targets for Mahomes out there. Of course, we don't know how severe this injury is at this very moment, but any extended absence that could really hurt this attack, this vertical attack, this offense that wants to start going deep. And he plays a crucial role in that. It's worrisome. I'm getting a little worried. It's a red flag. Of course, we know last year he had 24 catches, 288 yards, and 2 touchdowns before that season-ending injury. So there was sparks. He was ready to take that leap. But his absence, even if it's going to be short-term, this strains a wide receiver room who's now going to have to lean on the likes of Juju Smith-Schuster and Thornton because your other top targets are on the sideline. As I said, the sideline club. I just don't like seeing these injuries pile up. So this groin scare, top of his, last season's injury, atop of a suspension that's coming up, it's a major concern for this wide receiver room that's been plagued by injuries before. It's going to threaten Mahomes' offensive lifeline here. I just hate it. So what do the Chiefs need to do? Well, I've been giving them options. We've been talking about the options that they can get because we know that this injury curse continues to its sweep. There's only one name left that you can bring in for this wide receiver room to try to keep it together, and that's Amari Cooper. You whiffed on Keenan Allen, who went to the Chargers. You whiffed on Gabe Davis. So now Brett Veach needs to get on the phone, has to get on the phone instead. I think Amari Cooper is your next call, your only call, to be honest, because I'm fed up with Mahomes throwing to this lower tier talent year after year because of injuries or some kind of what we're going to see this year, a suspension. It's going to expose the lack of a vertical threat. That's going to keep the offense one-dimensional. It's not going to allow Mahomes to thrive. It's just not good all around. Now, Cooper, a 5-time Pro Bowler, he could be that established playmaker that Mahomes needs. Sure, his 2024, it was rough. We know that. 44 catches, 547 yards, and 4 touchdowns, and he split time with 2 teams. But again, he's had 7 1,000-yard seasons. He had a 45% red zone target share just a few seasons ago. So there is some reliability there. If Cooper can produce with Joe Flacco, back on the Browns, imagine what he could do with Mahomes. Because we know Mahomes elevates the talent around him, no matter who it is. And he has this kind of boom bust pattern of, 1,000-yard seasons. He had 1,000-yard seasons in 2015 and 16, then had 2 seasons where he didn't. Then he had back-to-back seasons of 2018, 2019, 2020, where he had 1,000-yard seasons. Then took another 2 years where he didn't, and then had another 1,000-year season in 2022 and 2023. So if we're following that pattern, that suggests that there will be a resurgence for him at Kansas City. But again, he's 31. But I like, he's got a great size, great body control. That makes him a red zone weapon who Rice usually is in that role if it's not someone like Kelsey or Gray. So this is a great replacement. But again, that recent inconsistency, it's a risk. But he's a veteran. He's a lifeline that I think this offense needs, especially the wide receiver room needs. Back in 2023, 72 catches, 1,250 yards, 5 touchdowns. And again, that was the season with the 45% red zone target share. So not too far removed from that. 6'1" frame, contested catch ability. That gives Mahomes a true X receiver. That's going to boost these fade routes. That's going to boost your red zone efficiency against defenses. So he's the last shot to give Mahomes a proven wide receiver and miss, Rice facing this absence and potential injury, and just injuries that are likely going to pile up because we know how this wide receiver room operates. So again, it's your last call. And I think it's a call that not only Chiefs deserve, but Patrick Mahomes deserves. Get him the weapon that he needs. Don't let him go into another season where he has to throw to lower tier targets or even another rookie. Well, I mentioned not too long ago about a potential trade for Joshua Williams, that he would go to Miami as a landing spot. But there's 3 new teams that the Chiefs could trade Joshua Williams to if they decide to, and that is Dallas, New Orleans, and Carolina. Williams is going into his final year of his rookie deal, and he's expandable. You have McDuffie, we have Watson, we have Fulton, Jamari Connors, in that nickel. You have Noah Williams, who they believe could become something. So your secondary isn't bad. I mean, like I said, Williams will be or could be expandable. 91 tackles, 18 pass deflections, so shows that he's a depth piece, and I think that a team would pick him up. Dallas, they need a secondary spark. Trayvon Diggs, he has his injury history. Deron Bland's up and down play. Their cornerback room is kind of shaky. Williams could add some stability as a rotational cover guy. New Orleans secondary, that's a mess. They lost Lattimore. They lost Adebo. They're banking on Kool-Aid McKinstry, Alante Taylor, but Williams' experience could plug gaps in a unit that is, again, projected to struggle in 2025. And then Carolina, despite re-signing Horn and Jackson, had one of the worst cornerback rooms last year. Again, Williams thrives as a rotational piece. I think he boosts their depth and tackling production against NFC South passers. He has an affordable cap hit. He's a 2-time Super Bowl, has that 2-time Super Bowl pedigree. I think that makes him a low-risk, high-reward trade chip for teams that need a reliable, cornerback 3 or cornerback 4. So trading Williams to Dallas, New Orleans, or Carolina, I think that could meet the Chiefs' value while addressing those teams' secondary woes. But KC's depth makes it, again, a low-stakes move. And here's just a kind of a fun story on this lovely Thursday. Antonio Pierce, I thought he hated red, but you know what they say, if you can't beat him, join him. And that's exactly what the former Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce did. Yeah, he was rocking some Chiefs gear at Missouri Western on Wednesday. Now, the Chiefs have owned the Raiders. I just had to throw this in here because I just love talking about how much we have owned the Raiders. We know how much we've done in the recent past, but we have a 75, 55, and 2 all-time edge. Yeah, I know. I just had to throw that in there so we can laugh at the Raiders. But yeah, Pierce's cameo is a jaw dropper. I think not only for Chiefs fans, but also Raiders fans. 9-year NFL vet, Pro Bowl linebacker. He shares a deep bond with Spags because, they were together back in the Giants days and they stunned the Patriots back in the Super Bowl. So a great connection there. His presence is just a guest advisor. I think that he could bring some defensive wisdom right now to KC staff just ahead of the regular season. We know that Pierce was fired after a 4-13 Raiders season last year. He's now sharing, I hope at least, some of his linebacker expertise, potentially sharpening not only Nick Bolton but Drew Tranquill as well as they anchor KC's front seven. So this isn't new. KC hosted, John Gruden last August, but this visit is likely just a friendly check-in, and I don't mind it. I don't think it's a coaching hire still, but his insight, I think, is nice for Spags and those linebackers. I think, hopefully his Pro Bowl pedigree, his green dot experience as the Giants play caller, I think that could leak into, that linebacker room and just help those instincts there, add some depth to those schemes. So his appearance, I think it might be a low-key win. Again, nothing, I don't think it's a hire of any sorts or anything like that, but hopefully he's sharing some of his expertise there with the linebackers room, and maybe he doesn't hate Red as much as he initially thought. So that is all that we have here on Cheifs Latest on this lovely Thursday. Thanks for tuning in. Go ahead and leave a comment. I love reading your guys' comment about the upcoming season. Let me know if you guys want Amari Cooper and if you guys are scared that injuries will keep piling up in this wide receiver room. Let me know if you think Joshua Williams is a good trade piece. And what do you think of seeing Pierce and Red? It was kind of a shock for me, but again, pretty funny just to see him walking down that hill at Missouri Western. Well, I am your host, Calvin Silvers. Once again, you are listening to Cheifs Latest. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. And until next time, have a good one.